please.
Okay.
So, again, I ask you guys, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, please send in your requests or inquiries in the comments on YouTube and Facebook. We're checking them as we're going through the live stream, and we're happy to answer all of those. Before we get into today's amazing topic, I would like to remind you all that in these last few days, we are doing a fundraiser at Al Rashid Mosque to help us get our operational costs and to help us cover all the requirements for programs such as this amazing program with the virtual mosque, necessary programs such as our counseling, our funeral services, our youth programs, and all the other amazing initiatives, over 100 initiatives that we bring to the community. So the link will be in the description to donate, and if you donate through the Islamic Relief Canada or islamicrelief.ca/Al-Rashid, they will match your donation 50%, meaning if you give $100, they will give $50. And that way you can help support the masjid and help keep bringing amazing content like this towards you. Now, without further ado, Sheikh Saleh, what are we talking about today?
Muhammad, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to everyone here today. I am so excited. It's been an amazing journey with you, Aqil, man, so thank you very much.
Alhamdulillah, thank you for being
Sayyid
here.
And all those who have been joining and those who have joined afterwards. I want to say Jazakallah khairan. I feel very blessed to be part of this, that we're all doing this together. I'd like to thank, of course, the Al Rashid Mosque, because honestly, it was an initiative that they provided, and it's another service. So I really want to encourage, for those who can, the mosques are now becoming more accessible, and God bless the people that from this very organization here at Al Rashid, where they tried so hard to make sure that the services were accessible even during the COVID-19 restrictions. So inshallah, please, it's a shout out to them. Also, Islamic Relief is involved with some of the charity work here at the Al Rashid Mosque. I really encourage each and every one of you, go on their website, get on and the program that they have here at the Al Rashid, program that they're doing together. I encourage you guys to get on and inshallah take part in it. All right, so the topic today is an amazing topic. It's, as you can probably tell just from the title, the prankster and the road to Jannah. Now, a lot of times when we think about this deen, we forget what it means to sort of understand the aspect of just having good character. Now, the Prophet ﷺ was described as al-Dahak wal-Bassam al-Dahak, that the Prophet ﷺ was always smiling and he was always laughing. This is something that I really want us to work towards, because part of purifying the heart is that whatever deen that we claim to have here in our hearts has to be expressed on the outside, where we are sweet and soft to those people who are around us. الموضوع اليوم إن شاء الله سوف نتحدث عن شخصية عظيمة من الصحابة، وهو الشخص ممكن ما التفت نظر كثير من الناس، لكن هو الشخصية عظيمة. والكثير مهم بهذا الوقت إنه نركز على صفة الضحك والبسام والبسمة بالوقت الذي في كثير من الناس يغفلون عن ذلك. فسيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم كان قائد للدين، وأيضا كان لطيف ويدعم ويلاطف الصحابة. فإن شاء الله تعالى, today I'm going to walk with you, inshallah, in another page in the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, many of us, alhamdulillah, rabbil alameen, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, many of us know the Prophet ﷺ for his many attributes. But one of the things that people sometimes overlook is the story of Nu'ayman ibn Amr. Nu'ayman ibn Amr. And Nu'ayman ibn Amr radiallahu anh was this amazing character. He was the prankster, so to speak. So he was known as the man that would bring a smile to the Prophet ﷺ, and he would bring a smile to the Sahaba. But he did stuff that, when somebody gets punked in today's age, he was actually doing that way back then. You feel me?
Yeah.
Getting punked, man. So one of the famous stories is that one time there was a market in the souk, and they were selling exotic fruits. So Nu'ayman thought, okay, this would be great for the Prophet ﷺ. So he told the seller of the market there, he said, listen, I want you to deliver this to Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All right? And so the seller said, okay. So the seller took the fruit to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was eating this fruit and enjoying it, and so this is something that he's enjoying in the moment. And then Nu'ayman looks to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he can see he's enjoying it. So then the seller says, well, Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the payment is due now. And then Nu'ayman, he looks at Nu'ayman, he says, didn't you didn't you gift this to me? And the Prophet and Nu'ayman said, yes, of course I gifted it to you, because I knew you'd love this so much, and as you can tell, you love it so much. But of course, I didn't have the money, so it's on you now. And the Prophet ﷺ never got upset. The Prophet ﷺ never got upset. In fact, the Prophet ﷺ joined in laughter with Nu'ayman. This is one of his prankster stories. There's another great story of his where there was a great Sahaba who was, in his age. He was over 100, 115 years old. So he was going to the Masjid al-Nabawi. This is Madinah al-Munawwara, okay, guys? So he's going into the Masjid al-Nabawi Sharif, and the man is, he has some problems with probably incontinence, that we call it incontinence. You can't hold your going to the washroom. So he told Nu'ayman, and he was also poor-sighted. He couldn't see this elderly man. So Nu'ayman said, okay, no problem, come here, I'll show you where the washroom is. So he took the old man to the corner of the masjid and said, oh, here you go, you can relieve yourself right here. So he urinated in the masjid. Of course, the Sahaba in the mosque were absolutely outraged. So what does Nu'ayman do? So everyone's yelling at this old man. Poor old man, he can't see, and he's just following. He goes, it was a guy named Nu'ayman. It was Nu'ayman. I don't know how he looks, but I know it was Nu'ayman. So Nu'ayman shows up, but of course he can't see him. So he changed his voice and he goes, oh, I know this Nu'ayman. You come with me, I'll lead you to him. So the elderly man was thinking, okay, you know what, I'm going to give this guy a piece of my mind. He made a fool out of me. So he grabbed him, and he took him to which great Sahabi's house? Does anyone know?
No, actually don't.
He took him to Sayyidina Uthman's, radiallahu anhu's house.
Oh, wow.
Sayyidina Uthman was praying. So the old man grabs a stick, and while Sayyidina Uthman is praying, he's hitting him, probably not very hard, but enough that distracted Sayyidina Uthman. He couldn't say anything. Sayyidina Uthman finished the salah, and he said, why are you hitting me? Do you know why he goes, you're Nu'ayman, and you did this to me. And of course, everyone knew the prankster. The king of pranking was Nu'ayman. So Sayyidina Uthman said, no. I understand what the real story is. And they started to laugh at this. So you see, this was the fun spirit of the Sahaba amongst themselves. Now I want to share with you a very funny story that actually I laugh every time I hear the story. It's narrated by Salama radiallahu anha, where she says that Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she said this, Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was going to Syria to do some work. So he asked Nu'ayman radiallahu anhu and Suwaybat to come with him. These are two great Sahaba radiallahu anhu. And so they're getting ready to accompany who? Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Or they're going to, Bursa yani. So they're going to Syria. So as they're preparing for the travels, they're traveling. And anyone who travels with friends, you start getting comfortable and whatnot. So Nu'ayman goes to Suwaybat radiallahu anhu and he says, Suwaybat, you're in charge of the food. I'm hungry. Can you make me some food? And he goes, no. Not until Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu comes. You get me?
Yeah.
So now Nu'ayman goes, he says, okay, you just came between me and my stomach. I'm going to get my revenge right now. So anyways, there was a tribe coming from some Arab tribe that was passing along the way. So Nu'ayman goes to that Arab, one of the travelers there, the caravan, and said, hey, I know this one very well-spoken Arab man, and he's actually my slave. But I gotta let you know in advance, if you purchase him, if you buy him, he'll tell you that he's a free man. And he'll tell you that he's free and that this is a big mistake. But you gotta remember, that's exactly what he'll say. And he always says that, so don't listen to him. So for 10 dirahim, he paid 10 dirahim for it, for the purchase of who? Suwaybat radhiyallahu anhu.
Oh.
So Nu'ayman goes, come, I got a man here on sale, I'm gonna sell him for you. So he takes him and he goes, you see, that's the guy, the good looking guy. That's him, the guy who speaks so well. So he went there and he grabbed Suwaybat. And guess what he said? Of course, I'm a free man. And at this point, he's thinking that, okay. And so what did the Arab, the Arab traveler, the Bedouin did? He tied him up. Took him like this.
What a guy.
And of course, Nu'ayman is watching there. He is glowing. But obviously, this is a prank. This is taking it to the next level. I told you guys, prankster,
kind of extreme,
right?
Yeah.
You know, you think so that it would be, really taken too far. But you know what? Sayyidina Abu Bakr came back and he goes, where's Suwaybat? And he sees him, then he's being taken, tied, and so he chases them. He gives back the money, and he says, no, he's not a slave, it was just a joke. And Nu'ayman has that big grin, you know what I mean? And this is what happens to this fun moment. This story was then related when they came back to who? Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Salama radiallahu anh said, when Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was told the story, he was just so amused, and he actually was in great laughter when he listened to the story. So he enjoyed it. And they said that the story was retold over one full year.
Wow.
Okay, because it was such a funny story. The last sort of example I want to talk about just his humor is the Sahaba, they knew who he was, right? They knew that Nu'ayman was the guy he's the joker in the crowd, right? So there was a Bedouin who came to see Prophet ﷺ at his house, right, Sayyid? He went to his house and he said, I want to visit the Prophet ﷺ. So he goes into the home. While he goes into the home, some of the Sahaba that were walking there, they go, hey, gosh, that's a beautiful camel, man. I haven't had camel meat in so long. Okay, that's all they said. Nu'ayman, he got the hint. So what he did was, he took the camel, slaughtered the camel, and created a feast. He made it a feast of this.
Okay.
So
of the guy's camel.
Of the guy's camel.
Okay.
It's not even his camel.
Not even his
camel.
So
you gotta remember how many things are happening here, and you'd be thinking, oh my gosh, this guy's really pushing his luck.
Yeah.
Right? With even humor.
Yeah, that is really
The Prophet
ﷺ
comes out of the house with this the Bedouin, and the Bedouin goes, where's my ride? And then they find out that a feast was being created. Meanwhile, of course, everyone said, we know what happened. We know Nu'ayman is behind this. And of course the Sahabas were loving it because they actually wanted to have camel meat. So the Prophet ﷺ asked, where's Nu'ayman? So he went and he found Nu'ayman hiding under dirt. And he was trying to camouflage himself underneath some stuff.
Oh man.
Now, if that was you or me, what do you think we would have done? What do you think?
Blow that popsicle stand.
I tell you straight, I don't know about you guys. Most of us might be taking this, oh my gosh, what's going on? It's so serious. Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam picked up Nu'ayman radiyallahu anhu, dusted him from the dirt. Subhanallah. And he lifted him up and he said, what brought you to do such a thing? And he goes, this is what happened, and I just thought I'd bring a feast, and it was just, and Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam started to laugh. He laughed in such, bashfulness and glee. That was Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you know, he paid the Bedouin for another camel. So don't worry.
Yeah.
He had his ride back, another one, probably better and more blessed. Meanwhile, guess who hosted the feast of the camel? Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. La ilaha illallah. Al-Bassam wal-Dahhak. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the smiling one and the laughing one. Now, getting to the story, An-Nu'ayman witnessed the battles of which battles, man? So you think, okay, he's a small timer. This guy couldn't have been a significant Sahabi. No, he was very significant. He was there at the Battle of Badr. Can you believe that? He was there in the Battle of Uhud. Khandaq. He's Ansari. He married the sister of Abdurrahman ibn Auf. Al-Ansari. He's from the Ansar. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
But something that, which I said again, it wasn't obviously hard enough that he was injured, but it wasn't enough to deter Nu'ayman from seeing the Prophet ﷺ. After all those times that he kept on coming in this state, you know, they said, one of the Sahaba said, curse it to him. Allah, you know, Allah give him the curse for what he's doing. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, لا تلعنوا فإنه يحب الله ورسوله. Do not curse. So the Sahaba said, cursed is this guy who keeps on coming back and creating this issue of addiction in front of us. You know, Prophet ﷺ said, no, don't curse him, for this man loves Allah and the Prophet ﷺ. My brothers and sisters, the purification of the heart, getting to what we wanted to, from going from doubt to certainty. No, it demands that we start knowing the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and what the action of Islam is about. How do you deal with people that are on the fringes of our community? Next time we're dealing with somebody from our fringes of our community, addictions of any sort, alcohol, you know, drugs, which is a big problem in our community right now amongst a lot of young people. Having zina and illicit relationships outside of marriage, it's become more and more common. But we do have to have the wisdom and the foresight of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that you never ever close the doors. Do not become the people of la'an, as Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, that do not curse, because I was not sent as a prophet to curse. You see, subhanAllah. So inshallah ta'ala, this is a short account of something I hope that brings a lightheartedness bi'idhnillahi ta'ala to you in the coming days, and that when you think of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you think about changes in your heart. If you find yourself that Islam is making you have this, have you seen that before?
That frown.
Yeah, that frown. Hey brother, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How you doing? What's happening?
You know, it's okay.
Alhamdulillah, astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. That's, I don't like that.
Oh.
See, and unfortunately, right? And we have this, بالعربي نسميها التزمد. Some person that becomes so hardened, they become hard in their hearts, and they become really at this point of it becomes a point of anger. We cannot, you know, bring out the iman from the place of anger. It must always come from the place of Allah's love. And then if we're angry for Allah's sake, not because it's better for me to be angry because that's what religion is. So if somebody says, haram, you know, I remember when we were growing up, the way they would teach us Salah is they would say that if you put your hands in the wrong way, they'd say, oh, the fire of hell is going to touch you there. You know, that's the way we were taught. Let us learn and practice and apply the techniques of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, engaging, inclusivity, bringing them together, and also keeping things in a very, very communal way. And you can see that it brought all the Sahaba together, so that even if somebody was part of the prank, they actually joined in the laughter afterwards. So inshallah ta'ala, I would like to maybe pause and open maybe some of this for some comments and discussion, and we'll continue inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back, Sister Rabir. I think she has that top fan notification on there. I think that's because she watched every single one of our live streams so far. MashaAllah. That's really good. Alhamdulillah. Thank you for always being such a good viewer. Again, assalam to Sister Samira, Brother Khashif, Sister Anisa. Here, go ahead.
Oh, yeah,
Spread the love.
Shafiq, Islam, Saab Khan, Sadiq Khan, and then Anna Hussein, and of course our dearest Sister Auntie Anisa. Salam to each and every one of you, inshallah, today. And so, should we take some questions right now or go to the next topic?
Wait, I'm checking YouTube as well because I said I will check both YouTube and Facebook. So yeah, there are no questions on YouTube.
Okay.
But you guys on Facebook, if you do have questions, please ask. But let's move on to the next topic, and then we'll come back to some questions.
So now we have to. We're now in the 23rd night, inshallah. Inshallah, may Allah adrikna, inshallah, Laylatul Qadr, inshallah, in these last nights. We have to now ask ourselves, as we are, in the last stretch of Ramadan, how do I keep myself focused? How do I keep this momentum up? So I thought, what better way than to talk about, let's figure out which path we want to take moving forward. So which path do you want to take? That's you guys. According to the Hadith al-Sharifa, there are 8 gates of Jannah. There are 8 gates of Jannah. And I'll just go through each one of them and invite each one of you right now that you will see these 8 gates, that this is the way moving forward. This is the way that you can start focusing on bettering yourself. And inshallah, our eternal abode, bi'idhnillah, is Jannah. Ultimately, we weren't made for this dunya. This is simply a travel, a journey that we pause and we rest in for what will feel like a day or less. And then we will move forward to, inshallah, this. Of course, there's the other abode, and that abode is an-nar. And that is, of course, a place of eternal condemnation and for those who have disobeyed Allah, but for those who have also turned away entirely from Him. For those who have turned to Him, even if they are sent to that place of Jahannam, inshallah, so long as they have Iman, inshallah, they will be accepted into Jannah after some time, according to the prophetic traditions. But let's not aim for that. We're aiming for a full pass, guys, and we want to get into Jannah, inshallah. So first and foremost, my man, let's start. You, Aqeel, if you can start by the first one.
We'll start with number 1. The gates of prayers, as-salah.
All right, so we got the gate of prayers. So this is the Bab as-salah, and this is one of the gates or the doors where people will be entering right into Jannah. Ya Rabb, Allah make us amongst them, inshallah.
Ameen.
So this is something that, for us right now, for those who are praying 5 times a day, we want to get our prayer even better. We want to pray with more ikhlas. We want to pray with more punctuality. As-salah ala waqtiha. And we want to also have more sincerity.
Yeah.
Increase your sunnah as well.
Yeah.
Right? Do your nawafil. Do your supererogatory prayers as well. Not just the farad, if that's where you're at already. Also, for those who are not yet at the routine of doing 5 prayers, like we talked before, what can we do, Aqeel? We can do at least the farad prayers.
Incremental improvements.
Incremental improvements.
Yeah.
All right? Because ultimately, we want to be able to enter this gate for sure, right? We don't want to exclude ourselves from any one of these options. All right, so the next gate that we want to consider is Bab of Jihad.
Someone says we should use a different color marker because they're not seen properly.
Oh, okay.
But we have lots of colors, by the way.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So the first one is Bab al-Salah. The second one is Bab al-Jihad. So Bab al-Jihad is those who strived in Allah's way, who fought in trying to defend justice and the rights of those who are being persecuted. Now that's a special rank. Now alhamdulillah, we wish and we hope that inshallah, obviously our struggles are different here, but we nonetheless can fall into the category of struggling and striving for Allah. So may Allah accept us in which one? in the
Salah and jihad.
jihad, yes. And jihad again, contrary to a lot of understanding, the jihad it means to strive or to struggle. So one way is, of course, with our life, our wealth, and our everything in the way of Allah in battle, to defend ourselves, to defend the rights of our families, and to defend the social justice of our environment when we're being persecuted and left to tend for ourselves against some terrible taghut or oppressor. And we ask Nas'alullah al-afiyah, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring us in an uplifted state where we're not struggling with this, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Please don't forget your brothers and sisters out there. And I could list the countries of where and how many places Muslims are suffering, but you and I know where they are. We pray, Ya Rabbil Alameen, Allah yansurhum, Allah give them victory and support.
Ameen.
So the second was Babul Jihad. Okay, so you might take Salah, you might, inshallah, we enter together in Jannah in this way. There's the other option is entering through the gate or Babul Jihad. The third one is Babul Rayyan. Babul Rayyan. Inshallah, Ya Rab. Ya Rab, Ya Rab. This is for those who are fasting. As-sa'imun. Whoever is fasting, this is what we were trying and striving for. And this is one of the great blessings of this ummah. The Prophet ﷺ said, this is the only ummah that has been granted this, that the sa'imin, the one who fasts, will be able to enter in this blessed gate, inshallah. So that's the third one, all right? And now Ramadan might be passing. Does that mean that there's no more fasting?
Oh, absolutely not.
So what can we do, Aqid?
Let's see, there's Arafat, the day of Arafat.
Right.
The 6 days of Shawwal.
6 days of Shawwal, yep.
There are voluntary fasting, so Monday and Thursday.
Yes.
Sayyid, help me out here.
Ayyam al-Bayd, the 3 nights, three white nights, or the white colored nights, which is the moon, the full moon. It's 13, 14, 15th of the month usually.
And then when the Prophet ﷺ moved from Mecca to Medina and he saw them fasting, and then they were
Ashura. Yes. Aqil, you get full marks, man, mashallah. You get full marks, you got it perfect. So now, when we're looking at practical things, well, what can I do for myself here on forward? These are practical areas we got to start focusing on, okay? So this is the areas that I'd like all of us to ask other people about. We can't do all of it at once, but inshallah, find the one that you're drawn to. But of course, prayer is inshallah the standard foundation.
So we were talking about the pillars of Islam. That's where it comes in, right?
Absolutely. And the fourth one is the Bab al-Sadaqah. Bab al-Sadaqah is giving. Bab al-Sadaqah is purifying ourselves, both physically and with our wealth, and it increases our wealth. And it provides us a sense of tazkiyah, of purification and removing of blemishes from us. And it also protects us from any harm that could be befalling on you or any one of your loved ones. It's a form of protection. And it's also a shifa, a way of bringing about shifa with Allah's permission. So sadaqah is something that we got to bring, hopefully more steadily into our lives.
Charity is not like a complete translation for the word, is it?
No.
Oftentimes we say charity, but is there like a better way to verbalize it in English?
Sadaqah, it's more, I would say it's described as an nama, which is an investment. It's something that grows, it increases. So sadaqah increases in every goodness. So that's one thing. So it's growth that brings about goodness from all parts of your life. And the other part of it is it's a purification. It's a purification. That's where zakat comes from. Zakat comes from that. Sadaqah is one that comes from the root word of sadaqah. From sadaqah, 3 letters, which means to be truthful. To attain truthfulness, we have to give. And you have to give what? Of that which you love the most. Right? It's easy for me to give a beaten down.
Watch the video about the grapes. You know which video I'm talking about if you follow our channel. The video about the grapes.
All right, so you got some great suggestions there as well. Finally, we got now Bab al-Tawbah. This is also something that we've been encouraged to do during this month. We're supposed to say, رَبَّنَا اغْفِرْ لَنَا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. We say this all the time, you know, oh Allah, forgive our faults, forgive our sins, Ya Allah. The thing that we're supposed to be saying during these blessed nights, Allahumma innaka afoon tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Oh Allah, you are most of forgiving and of pardoning, and you love to forgive and you love to pardon. So forgive me, Ya Allah. This is something that, closeness to Allah begins with istighfar and tawbah. Because we start bringing and presenting ourselves before Allah in a way that acknowledges us and our frailty, which means our submission is to Allah. When we stand up like this, when we get angry, this is the sign of kibr. But when we turn to Allah, the more you humiliate yourself before Allah and humble yourself. فَمَنْ تَوَاضَعَ لِلَّهِ رَفَعَهُ اللَّهُ. Whosoever is humble for the sake of Allah, Allah elevates them. Because the more you submit to Him, the more He loves you and brings you closer to Him. Okay, so that's the other part. All right, and so tawbah, get into the habit of saying the istighfar.
Yeah.
All right, get into the habit. While you're walking down, get into a routine where you put them in your like a litany maybe. You know, you can do your own litany and say, you know what, I want to do at least 10 istighfar after every salah. I'm just going to keep this as my baseline, and get used to saying it. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. And again, we're doing this because this is the thing that takes away the ana and the ananiya, the selfishness of ourselves in saying myself or me.
Yeah.
All right.
The me and the intention.
Exactly, man. All right. So then we have the gate, the Bab al-Ayman, which is it refers to a special people that will actually. So this is the seventh one. They will be the ones who will get to enter Jannah without any questions, without any being taken into account.
Wait, let's skip the sixth one.
That was told.
Well,
Okay.
7.
Oh, 6. Sorry, 6th one.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
So I got it wrong. I said that's why we got Aqil, man. He's way better with numbers. All right. So the 6th one is the Bab al-Ayman, or the people of the people of the right.
Can I say temperaments?
The ones, call it the ones who will, the righteous ones with no account taken to enter Jannah. Ya Rab, we can be all 8 of these, and I want to share with you some simple things at the end of this that you're going to be like, are you serious? Some of you might be saying, come on, no, I'm not good at prayer. Jihad, no, I ain't good with that fasting. No, that's a no for me. I love my food. Charity, I don't know about me. I like my money. You might say, Tawbah, don't worry. I got some things that inshallah ta'ala, we have to work towards this, but there's some simple things that we know that actually open all 8 gates. But let's get to the 7th one. So 6th one are for those people so beloved to Allah that Allah says, come on down. And they don't get any questioning. It's like the shuhada and whatnot. When they go in, they just get accepted. Right? They just accepted right away. So they're the gate of jihad and also in the gate of al-iman. Wow. This is the one who can control their anger.
So this is temperament.
Yeah, this is temperament. Okay, so you might think, okay, I don't know, I'm not good at the other stuff. Character development, كاظم الغيظ والعافين عن الناس. You know, to be controlling of your anger, والعافين عن الناس, and that you pardon people. So you control your anger, and then when they do wrong, you let it go. You let it go. This idea of begrudging somebody forever.
Yeah. I mean, a prisoner to your anger, like we said yesterday.
We gotta let it go.
Yeah.
So inshallah ta'ala, كاظمين الغيظ والعافين عن الناس. This is a special rank. So for the persons that you see that have these qualities, you know, Aristotle says that if you want to adopt a virtue of somebody, that you need to be with them, you have to follow them, and then you become and you adopt what they do. You become them. We have the same idea when we understand Sunnah. Go to somebody who's living the talk. Observe them, watch them, study them. As we've mentioned in the past, that's what the Sahaba did. And then they would dress themselves with that beautiful virtue.
Yeah.
So it's something that would require many, many sessions for us to talk about. But this is something, temperament, controlling your anger and letting it go. You know, there's nothing more annoying than the song Let It Go by Frozen. But that cartoon,
I know exactly.
it's a very annoying song, but you gotta let it go. Let it go. You just gotta let the whole situation away from you and let it go. Somebody says something to you that may get at you, ask Allah. Just don't ever let it come here. Because, alhamdulillah, ultimately, which gate do we want to enter? The gate of al-kadhib al-ghayz, the gate of temperaments, of good controlling of your anger. So when somebody says to you, you all soft and you let everybody walk all over you, what do you have to tell yourself?
Kindness is not the weakness.
Right?
Yeah.
Kindness ain't weakness when it comes to entering Jannah.
When you're fasting and someone gets or tries to fight you or get angry with you, there's something you say, like a particular thing. What is that?
You tell me.
I'm fasting and I fear Allah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know, ittaqillah, Allahumma inni sa'im. You know, and so this is something we need to be aware of. The eighth gate that I'd like to talk about is this one. It's called the gate of the secret of La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. This is from a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, who said that the gate or door of Jannah is La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. I should make a little bit of a clarification. Some of these there's some other ones that are added based on different scholars. Some people say Bab al-Hajj, so the one who goes for Hajj, they can go Bab al-Ilm. They may be a gate among the eight that falls into that category. Some people say Bab al-Dhikr, the gate of remembrance of Allah. However, these are the ones that are most common, but there are other ones based on the scholars as well. But the eighth one here that I like to state is La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. So there's no might, there is no might or power except that of Allah. Why do you think there's a gate for that, Akhil?
There is no might. Because it's absolute belief.
But what do you mean?
Well, like, for example, if you say, I want to follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and if you do that truly, by default you're already following the Prophet Muhammad, right? So if by accepting all the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then by default you'll already be praying. By default you'll already be fasting and doing all these other ones.
That's right. Exactly it. And so this is something that I want you guys to remember, that La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, when we say it, a lot of times people say when they're really angry, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. They'll say it like that. But what we want to really get into understanding what we're saying and why it's the secret to enter Jannah. It's because when you say La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, you're reminding yourself that yourself and all of those things that are around you are subservient to the will of Allah. So you got something, that bad news that hit you, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. You've heard of calamities that have happened abroad, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Because there are competing forces, Aqeel.
Yeah.
There are competing forces that are trying to convince you that their power and might is greater than anything, including staking the claim as the pharaohs of the past that I am God.
Trying to be in the level of shirk.
It is absolute shirk.
Absolute shirk.
It is absolute shirk. So once a person starts to fear creation in the same way that he fears Allah, they have to ask themselves the question:
Who is the most mighty?
Who's greater in power?
Yeah.
That's when we turn and say, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. That there's no might, no power greater except that of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I can't fall into that fear of anybody's might or power. Nobody's got control except Allah. Anxiety, depression, distress, these things are all rooted in this idea that somehow we surrender our control to something that we don't know. So, oh my gosh, my job, it might happen like this. The COVID virus, this might happen. You know what, my health. Oh, you know what, my children, I don't know what's going to happen with them, this and that. We get into these what ifs and what could happen, what should happen. And we get so lost in this that we forget that, hey, pause a moment, breathe, la hawla wa la quwwata إلا بالله. So inshallah ta'ala, these are 8 of the gates of Jannah. Ya Rabb, I ask Ya Rabb al-Alameen, in the names wal asma al-husna, Ya Allah, in all of those blessed names that He's taught His creation, Ya Kareem, please accept us amongst one of these and all of these. Say Ameen.
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 Inshallah ta'ala. So maybe we can look at some questions,
Yes.
some comments if there are any.
I hope you guys have been commenting.
Inshallah.